Good morning, Year 6. Here are your answers from yesterday's tasks. Please pause the video and mark your work. Here is your Fluent in 5 for today. Please set yourself a 5-minute timer and have a go at the questions. Off you go. Okay, and here are your answers for Fluent in 5 for today. I'm just going to very quickly just go through A, just as a reminder about adding fractions. Okay, so you had 6.5 add 2 3/10. Okay, so the important thing to remember when adding fractions is that the denominator needs to be the same. Okay, so I'm looking for how I can make the denominators the same, and I recognise that this half I can convert it so that the denominator is also tenths. Okay, so 6.5, I want to make it into tenths, so I think, what do I do to 2 to make it 10? I times it by 5, remembering that we do the same to the top. Okay, so 1 times 5 is 5. Now we can add to those fractions, because now I've got 6 5/10, add 2 3/10. Okay, so if I add my wholes first, 6 add 2 is 8. And then remembering that when we add fractions, we just add the numerators. So 5 add 3 is 8. So my answer being 8 8/10. Okay, but also thinking, can I simplify that fraction? Okay, yes I can, because I can divide them both by 2. Okay, if I divide them both by 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Give me 8 4/5, which was my other possible answer. Okay, now please continue marking your other answers. Well done. Okay, today we're going to be learning to draw a cube and a cuboid on dotty paper. So for today's lesson, you're going to need to make sure that you've got access to a ruler or something with a straight edge, a pen or a pencil. Okay, I'm going to be using sort of a felt tip pen today, just so that it shows up clearly on the video for you to see what I'm doing. And finally, you are also going to need some dotty paper. Okay, you may have some dotty paper at home, or also if you look on the learning presentation, on one of the slides I've just put some dotty paper that you can print out to use. Okay, so make sure you've got those 3 things. So if we start off just by looking at this cube, okay, this is a unit cube that's been drawn on some dotty paper for us. Okay, so if I look at my cube, I can see 3 faces. Okay, yesterday we looked at how many faces there are on a unit cube, and there's 6. So that means that there's 3, kind of, if we imagine it being 3D, there's 3 behind, there's 2 behind and 1 underneath that we can't see, but there are 3 visible faces here. So what I'm going to start off just by looking at is how I draw this cube on dotty paper. And there's 2 ways you can draw it. Okay, I'm definitely going to need my ruler for this. The first way is just first of all to draw the top face. Okay, which uses 4 dots connected together. Okay, so I'm going to do it over here for you to have a look at. Okay, so I select 4 dots and I connect them together so it looks a bit like a diamond. Just like this. Let's turn it around to make it a bit easier. Okay, so I've started off by drawing a diamond, which is my top face. Okay, then to draw the other 2 faces, okay, what I do is take these 3 corners here, 1, 2, 3, and I draw a line down to the next dot, like so. Okay, and then finally I just connect these dots like this. Okay, and then I've drawn my unit cube. Alternatively, what you can do is take 6 dots and draw yourself a hexagon. So let me just draw my hexagon. One final side. There we go. Okay, so I've got my hexagon. Then what I simply need to do, okay, is now I can draw on my faces. So if I connect this dot to the middle dot, and then the middle dot to this dot here, I've then made that kite, my top face, okay, and then I simply just need to go from my middle dot to this bottom dot here, okay, and then I've drawn my cube. Okay, so that's just two ways which you can draw a unit cube on dotty paper. Might be good if you pause the video and now have a go, okay, at drawing the two different cubes. Okay, now that we've looked at drawing a cube, I'm now going to look at how to draw a cuboid, okay, which is basically a rectangular solid. So I start off with my cube, and there's a few ways that we can draw a cuboid. I'm just going to start off showing you one way. So I've started off with my cube, and I'm going to draw my second cube kind of next to it, going behind it. Okay, so what I need to do is take my ruler, and I'm going to start with my top face. So I'm going to think about that diamond again. Okay, so I'm just drawing one more cube next to my first cube. So I'm just going to draw my diamond. So I'm going to carry that line on there, bring it down, oh, and then connect it there. Okay, so imagining that that cube wasn't there now, I've now got my diamond, which is my top face. Okay, and then this dot I can just bring down by one, and then bring across, and now I have a cuboid, my rectangular solid. Okay, if you continue watching, I will just very quickly draw two more cuboids. Okay, so now I've got my three cuboids, okay, that are, so all three are made up with two unit cubes. And although it went a bit quick there, hopefully you could see it is quite fiddly, okay? You have to think carefully about the dots, make sure your ruler is aligned. Unfortunately, some of mine have just smudged slightly because I'm using a thicker pen, but if you're using a pencil, okay, it should be drawn really accurately. Okay, so now I'd like us all just to have a bit of practice together. So if we have a look at these four, we're going to have a go at drawing these on some dotty paper. Okay, so what you can do is pause the video, have a look carefully at the cube and cuboids. How can you draw these onto another piece of dotty paper? Think about what you need to do. Okay, I'm going to do the first one together, and then from then I want you to have a go. So if I look at this first cube, okay, I can think, right, I need to make sure that I replicate it accurately on my piece of dotty paper. So what I'm going to do first of all is just look at that top face of my cube. Okay, and I can see here, if I'm starting on the left, okay, it goes through two dots. Okay, so it's a little bit bigger than the cubes that we've been drawing previously. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take a dot and then go 1, 2. Okay, and because it's a cube, all the sides are equal, so I know that thinking about the rest of my diamond, okay, it goes through two dots again. So 1, 2, up here, 1, 2, and then across here, 1, 2. Okay, then thinking going down, once again, it's made up of 2. So 1, 2. What I'm going to do is just draw my other 2 lines down. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and then I can draw up the bottom. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so it looks a little bit smaller because this dotty paper is slightly smaller than this dotty paper, but okay, I have drawn it accurately. Right, what I'd like you to do now is pause the video using the same sort of technique, strategy that I used here by counting the dots. Have a go at drawing these 3. Off you go. Okay, so hopefully you have, just like I've done, drawn out the cubes and cuboids. Okay, so this one here was fairly similar to this one, so this one was a little bit easier because we knew that all the sides were equal, whereas these two, okay, obviously drawing the top face was okay, but then we had to think carefully and count how many dots there were to make sure that we drew the other sides accurately. But well done. Okay, just as a bit of other practice now, I'm not going to go through this one, but what I'd like you to do is on another piece of dotty paper, pause the video and have a go at drawing out these. This time, okay, all of the dots haven't been drawn, okay, but if you look carefully, they have the dots along the line. Okay, so the length of this side would be 1, 2, 3 dots, okay, from starting at a point. Okay, so pause the video and have a go at drawing those accurately. Okay, well done for doing that. And then finally today, okay, to help us with our accuracy, we're going to have a look at completing these drawings of each cube and cuboid. So part of it has been drawn for us. So what we need to do is look carefully at how we can draw the other sides. Okay, if you'd like, please pause the video and have a go. See if you can work it out, and then I will go through the answers. Okay, I'm going to start off by looking at A. Okay, so I can see here that this face that I need to draw needs to be the same as this face here. Okay, so thinking from this corner edge, which will be the same here, I need to come down 2 dots. Okay, then I can connect this side up, this bottom side there. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now that I've drawn that, it now looks like a completed cuboid. Once again, let's look at this side here. So I know that this side needs to be the same as this one, and it's come down from this point by 1. So I'm going to do that here, and then join up the bottom edge. Okay, there we go. Right, let's have a look at C. So it's this face that's missing. So once again, I'm going to come to this face to have a look. And from the corner, it comes down 2. Okay, and it's really important that I line my ruler accurately, otherwise my line will go wonky. And then join up the bottom edge. And now we have a completed cube. And then if we have a look at D, okay, this time it's the top face that isn't complete. Okay, so if I think about this corner here, it comes out by 1, so I need to do that here. And then connect up my final edge across like that, and now I have my cuboid. Right, now that we've done some practice together, what I'd like you to do is have a go at the task for session 2, which can be found on the website. And then in tomorrow's video, I will show you the answers. Good luck!